What is going on, everyone? Slow Us here, bringing you a gameplay of Marvel Heroes Test Center on Thursday, October 22nd. I am currently playing as Blade, as you can see here in the picture. This is the first couple of hours that Blade has been out, so everything is in testing mode right now. Some of the things that I'm sure you guys are going to want to see. I'm not going to go over all the skills just because other people do that, so you can tune into their channel, so check that thing out. What I will recommend, though, is you get on Test Center and try him out because he's fun as shit. Things, though, I will show are his synergies. It looks like he is basically a copy of Deadpool. That could change. Maybe that's just a placeholder for him right now. So obviously I'm not using his synergy because it kind of sucks, actually. Especially when everything's given to you for like $1 and you get infinite dollars. Anyways, so I've been dicking around with Blade a little bit. I've got a pretty good build, I think, for what's going to be pretty solid, good area, damage, whatnot. I've been really enjoying it, actually. But I want you guys to know a few key things about him. One, he has two signatures, loud and flashy. It's an area like triple splash kind of thing. And then this is more of like a single target signature where he throws a bunch of knives, and the last one he like kicks into his head, kind of like the end scene of Blade 1 where he kicks that last little vial of blue shit into the dude's head and he blows up like a marshmallow and then explodes. Kind of like that. That's what it looks like. Not using that because I like area effects more, especially when I'm doing like Cosmic Midtown or some shit like that. So I went with the loud and flashy signature. That's my jam right now. I guess I'll just dive right into the build as to what I'm using and some of the skills that I would like to find a use for. It looks like there's going to be a lot of build diversity with him, mainly because a lot of his moves are based around grievous wounds, which basically applies what I think is bleed. Maybe I'm wrong on this. I could be fucking everything up because actually it has the bleed tag, so I think my artifacts and stuff will work here. So it says bleed up top, so I'm good there. But everything is based around cutting dudes. They bleed, and then you build up your secondary resource. Now this is pretty cool. I like how they did this. This is Blade's secondary resource. It's called Thirst, and as he makes more people bleed, the more he becomes thirsty for blood. So this bar will fill up white. I think they should make it red personally, but whatever. It'll fill up, and then once it fills up, your whole screen gets like these red blood vein kind of things going through it, and then you attack a ton faster. You attack a lot faster, you move a lot faster, and then you do 10% more damage. But while you're under the effects of bloodlust, like when your screen's all red and bloody, you constantly lose health. But honestly, guys, the health loss right now, and this is obviously test center, so that could change. The health loss is almost negligible. Like I would almost just say stay in bloodlust all the time. But maybe we'll tune that up to where it actually you don't really want to be in bloodlust all the time. But you will not come out of bloodlust unless you use his serum move, which is you get at level 1. It says passive, but it activates. And once you activate a serum, which has a cooldown of 12 seconds, it will drop his thirst back down to 0. And then you go back into normal mode where you can build it back up. So one of the things that every build will have is serum. And then under serum, there are different specializations. Some of them make your thirst grow slower. Some of them make you gain the effects of bloodlust without all the negative side effects. And then some of them make you want to stay in bloodlust for extra damage and spirit reduction, all good stuff. The in control one gives you base 20% extra health. That's pretty beast mode. I found that only when necessary is really good, especially if you have a lot of cooldown moves like my build has. This resets them all, and it gives you 25% of your maximum spirit back, which is beast. So I'm running that specialization. Really, there's no negative side effects of running these. Like a lot of specializations, like one move can't be used with another move and this and that. Well, this so far doesn't have it, and I hope they keep it that way because this is actually fun. So anyways, the moves that I'm using right now I am using Hack and Slash. It's a melee move. Basically, this is what I've figured to be the single target, just constant attack spender. He doesn't really have that many mana issues, so this is what his Hack and Slash looks like. He's kicking and stabbing and slashing and shit with his sword. So that's supposed to cost spirit. I don't know if it is. If it is, I think he has really good spirit regen actually, just like built into his passives. But that's my left click. Deadly dash, I mean, not much to say here other than the fact that it doesn't actually cause bleed. This dash, pretty smooth. I like how he alternates which way he's slashing the sword too. But that's your standard dash in and out of combat. Eventually I think he'll get extra dodge % chance after he comes out of it. Like he'll have that little glow about him like some of the characters do. But right now they don't have it, and it's locked at 0, so they must have not figured out what tuning to put on it. I'm using UV grenade from the Daywalker tree. Excuse me, guys. UV grenade, I'm using only 1 point into it because it does physical damage. Stuns for pretty much with his gear on. 3-second stun, 6-second cooldown. Everyone takes 10% extra damage from all sources. It's a 1-point wonder to me. Looks like this. You can throw it really far, but as soon as it hits where your cursor is, that's when it blows up. But you can throw it anywhere. It's inside that big white circle, and then the area of effect is the smaller targeted circle up top. Really like this move. If you lead off with this, all the guys stand still and they can't move. Makes a nice nice lead in with the hyper-toxic grenade. This is from the Tools of the Trade build, or tree, I'm sorry. Basically, this is a vulnerability for grievous wounds, so enemies take extra 31% damage, and that's scaled because of me putting 20 points into it. 31% extra damage from grievous wounds, so any move that does grievous wounds, like glaive, which is in my thing, it'll take an additional 31% extra damage from it for 8 seconds. So I'll lead off with this, stun them, they all are immobilized or spinning, they don't even attack. Then you hit them with the hyperstatic grenade or hypertoxin grenade. This applies extra vulnerability for your grievous wounds, blah blah blah, does explosion damage on them. And then I like this mechanic here. It's explosion damage on death. So if you actually kill a guy, they will blow up into another explosion, and I've actually killed a lot of guys that way with this, and it's really fun. So usually between the UV grenade and the hypertoxin grenade, you can clean a lot of trash up with just those two. These are both cooldown moves, by the way, 6 seconds apiece. And then I like to follow that up with the glaive orbit. Let's do this grenade. It kind of just rolls on the ground, blows up, leaves a little smoke trail. Badass graphic. If you ask me, I'll throw it like right here on the ground. Blue shit, little smoky area, pretty cool. Again, it's big area, you can throw it in. Let me aim up here. The white circle up top with the plus sign inside of it, or the target is how big of the area of effect it is. Next, it's the glaive orbit. This is not something you can throw, but this is just a circular around you kind of move. This causes your grievous wounds. Now, this is what I was talking about, his build diversity. His grievous wounds, he has a lot of moves right now that do grievous wounds, and as it says, they don't stack with other grievous wounds effects. So you get a grievous wound here, this is a grievous wound. Let's see, I think, yeah, Unleash Glaive, that's a grievous wound. I think his machine guns do grievous wounds. There's a lot of grievous wounds to choose from, so any of these could fill that spot if you like them better. I like this one because it's fast, and it hits everyone around you, and you don't have to think about it. The guns are pretty cool. I wish they had a wider cone on them, but it's a lot of spirit. This one's like a cast and forget, 6 second cooldown again, so you got 6 seconds, 6 seconds, 6 seconds. Let's do the glaive. You can see how fast it is. That means everyone around you gets cut. And when they get cut, here I'll do it in the center, when they get cut, they will all bleed, and as long as you're near someone who's bleeding, you gain thirst. So I'll throw it one time. You see my white bar climb in there. So you gain damn near a full bar from just one glaive throw. Boom, I'm in Bloodlust. You see the little graphic here on my screen. You can see that I attack a lot faster than I was before. Again, like I said, I don't know if... I wish that little Groot one's in there. But you won't come out of this until you use his serum. But you attack faster, you run faster, you do extra damage. I wish they gave you a buff here or a little icon other than the screen like that. But that's what it is right now. Like I said, there is no health loss on turning into Bloodlust. So right now it's beneficial to just stay in Bloodlust. But either way, with the specialization of this, basically when I cast the serum, I instantly reset the cooldowns of all these things, so it no longer becomes 6 seconds. I gain 25% of my spirit back, and I gain all the positive effects like the extra speed and damage of Bloodlust, and they'll remain active for 12 seconds. Well, this thing cools down for 12 seconds, so basically you can keep all the positive aspects of Bloodlust on without losing any health. So right now this is a no-brainer, like one of the best ones out there. Unless you're really trying to tank, then you'd want to do this. That's defense and base health, and I think they're going to change how defense works, so 100% or plus 100 might actually be way better than I think it is, but right now it kind of looks like it sucks. Anyways, back to the build. So we're in Bloodlust right now. Let me show you the cooldown resetting ability of that that specialization. So I'll cast this, and I cast that. You see they're all reset. I still have the Bloodlust effect on my screen, but I'm at 0 thirst. So I'm still running faster, blah, 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 12 seconds. It should go away anytime now. There it goes. Right as that reset. So I'd have to gain my thirst back again, but you get the point. Basically, you can double the length of your Bloodlust if you want. Loud and Flashy. This is his signature I was talking about at the beginning. This is a big area of effect kind of move. It kind of reminds me, and you know how I am with Mr. Fantastic. This kind of reminds me of Mr. Fantastic's like Spheroid. I know that might be a really weird comparison, but it only bounces 3 times, and you can do it over 15 seconds. Way cooler animation though than the Spheroid, but if you like to be gimmicky like Mr. Fantastic, then it's all good. So you can cast 1, 2, go over here, cast 3, whatever you want to do, but he cracks the ground, he comes down, big splash area of effect. It's, good cone. I like to finish off mobs of guys that way just by bouncing down the street with that move. It looks like a badass while doing it. It sounds real metallic, that's not a word. And I like the guns here. I know that the grievous wounds from Glaive Orbit are already there, but whittle into kindling. This is a good ranged trash clear. You basically just fire really fast and you cause bleed on shit. So if guys are walking at you, you can just light them up. Does a lot of damage. Now you see how much faster I attack once the Bloodlust kicks in. But those guys will continue to bleed and whatnot. I like that for just trash clearing. Oh, he's got a little bit of blood around him squirting out. You see that? It's pretty cool. So you can do that. And then the other thing about hack and slash, the left click is when you're in Bloodlust, like right now when I'm in Bloodlust, there'll probably be additional damage and attack speed. So that's my single target. And that's doing pretty good damage. Now, that's my build. On my bar 2, I have his motorcycle. The ride is awesome. I don't know if you can see it or not. But the headlights are what really do it for me. They actually light up walls. Anyways, if you're a graphical person, I guess that makes sense and it looks pretty cool to you. But I like the headlights on that. Get out of Bloodlust here. Okay, so that's my build. It is hack and slash and the dash move here, the 2 grenades, glaive, loud and flashy, and serum with the middle or only when necessary specialization on. 20 points into his passive, long lived. This is beast for damage. That's definitely a must have. Sorry, damage, critical, hit, brutal, strike, hit, rating, all that good stuff. So I'm doing 20 points in serum, 20 points in long-lived, 20 points in hypertoxic grenade, 1 point into UV grenade, 20 points into glaive, 20 points into kindling, 20 points into hack and slash, 20 points into his loud and flashy signature. I didn't really know where else to put the points, so I dumped him in the stake thrower. I'm not using it though, but it's just a nice long cooldown, high damage kind of thing. But he basically shoots 2 spears that go through everyone. I figured if I could get in the rotation I would, but I can't because I'm not someone who likes to juggle hot bars. So that's that. Let me show you his ultimate. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. So I kill everyone with Uzis around me, and then I hack and slash people. Everything's a critical hit, it said. Maxes out Bloodlust, which is not hard to do anyways, so I don't know why that's even on there. So we'll get right... let's do it over here. I want some actual targets. Do it right here in the middle. That was pretty sick. Did some backflips, threw some grenades, whatnot. Shot everyone with Uzis, did some flips, threw a couple, I think, grenades, and there's like a little moon or whatever. Cool beans, man. That looked very low damage, but everything's still in tuning phase. So I'm sure all that will get tuned up and be nice and ready by Halloween when he's supposed to come out. This is his modern costume, as you can see. Let me get that out of here. What I chose to do, because most of my tags on these things were area, is I went with a area relic. So relic of Attilian, I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyways, I don't know why I went with Bone Breaker. I guess you could go with Power Dupe if you really want to max out damage. I just figured this is kind of good. I don't know. I could have went with other things. Now that I have changed the build around a few times, the melee powers don't really make sense. I'd probably go with something that does more area. So I'll probably be changing this to some other rune word, but that's not important. Couple higher end artifacts here. This one I liked in particular because it's physical damage and I get attack speed and fighting. I know it's not the best, but I just had it on my test center, stash or whatever. So I threw it on him. Super proud that I kept my Sabertooth's Fury main because Blade is going to use the shit out of that Sabertooth medallion because of the bleed status. And who doesn't like all that extra health regen? Advanced Metasensory Array. Can't really go wrong there. Can't go wrong with Gem of the Cursed. Figure what the hell. Probably be dashing around a lot. Some Megatown Signet. Melee powers. I think some of these have melee tags, so... yeah. It's not like I'm really losing out. I get +1 here, +1 there, +1 there. Whatever. I could obviously go with like a mini Gok or one of the demon bands or whatever if I had one. I just slapped it on here. These aren't important things, guys, but what I wanted to show you is his on the test center right now they have a box of Blades Uniques, and you can't really see the picture of Blades Uniques. They're all kind of just a box, except his range or his slot 1 for some reason has a gun symbol, but I went ahead and used the box, got all of his things. You can kind of see the stats here, but more importantly, I wanted you guys to kind of see what they'll look like. It looks like slot 1 is sword, slot 2 is trench coat, slot 3 is belt, 4 is boots, and 5 is sunglasses. So these will probably be like, his red sunglasses, black trench coat of Blade, his utility belt, whatever, Night Stalker boots, who the fuck knows. But slot 1 won't be a gun. At first I thought I was going to miss out on something, and it looks like it's going to be the sword, or maybe he has a sword and a ranged, so maybe he'll have 2, which is cool. But anyways, let me slap these back on so you can see what they look like with the stats right now. This is in testing, so these could change a lot actually, but +1 fighting, crit, damage, hit rating, attack speed, blah blah blah. A couple points to ranged moves. The whittled, the kindling I use. Unleashed Glaive is kind of like Cyclops' beam that bounces around, except it's a glaive and it has a cooldown. But it does add grievous wounds, so that's pretty cool. Let's see. This is health, durability. Block rating is a new thing I think is coming, and that has to do with the new defensive mechanics of the game. So that can make you take like 50% less damage from an attack if you actually block, which is cool. Critically hit whenever you use a physical power, which is like all of his moves. Movement speed, attack speed can stack up to 3 times whenever you hit with a physical power and critically hit. So that's cool. Serum obviously is awesome. All of the Daywalker powers in general are awesome, and Long Lived is really good for damage. So Blade Slot 2 is really good for his damage. Slot 3 here, it is going to be his belt, I believe. But this is Spirit Recovery, Spirit, Health, Crit ratings, brutal rating, Strength. So he's getting a lot of like +1s to all of his stats, like Fighting, Durability. This one has Strength. I think the next one doesn't have anything, of course, as I get going on saying that. So he gets +1 to Strength here. All powers, Vampire Hunter powers, Tools of Trade. So these are all good things. Slot 4, which I believe were his boots. These are Spirit, less Spirit cost, Health, Damage, Attack rating. 4.4 Spirit on hit. That would explain why I am never running out of mana whenever I'm just standard attacking. Like, this move is supposed to cost me mana, but I think I actually gain mana faster than I lose it, just between gear and normal regen and all that other shit. So this really helps with his loadout with keeping his mana up. Slot 5, health, damage. Really cool attribute so far that I like is if you drop below 50% health, you gain a shitload of defense rating and tons and tons of health regen for 5 seconds. So that's going to be really good for keeping him alive in those like oh shit situations, because you could just dash away while that's healing you back up. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if I showed you enough of the Serum passive, but this gives you Constitution, damage gated 20, deflect rating, defense rating, evade. Basically, this is a oops, I fucked up kind of passive. So if you die, it gives you a free retry every 5 minutes at level 44, which is pretty fast. What does that say? Active effect, fully removes blood loss, regenerate 5% of your maximum health per 10 thirst. Holy shit. So Serum is basically going to heal the fuck out of him, and with this it's going to give all of his spirit back. So this passive is beast for staying alive, pretty much, and this passive is beast for his damage. So you'll probably need both of those. Some people could argue this is a one-point wonder, but if you don't want to die and you're in some higher-end shit, why not bring it? Right now, he doesn't have too many options of where you want to put your points, at least in my opinion. So that's what I'm rocking, guys. That's my build. This is Blade on Test Center. First night he's out, first couple hours. I've already been booted a few times and asked to re-evaluate where my skills are and all that good shit. So this is all subject to change, guys. I hope you like Blade. I am probably not going to show you any gameplay because I want you guys to get on and try him out. Because the more people we get playing, the more hammered out Blade will be for when he comes out in Halloween. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up, like, leave a comment if you'd like, and subscribe to the channel. Peace, guys.